Good evening, everybody. Welcome to SRW TV for the Tuesday night DSL Welding Services 360 Sprint Cars series. This is round 3, brought to you this week from Lanier Speedway, the 3/8 mile dirt track in Branson, USA, right across the road from Road Atlanta for all you road track fans. Conditions today up on the screen: 31 degrees. The weather slightly overcast and a bit of a wind. My name is Brendan. I will be your commentator to guide you through this evening. We've got Chippy on the producer role and Stefan McCartan in the RC tonight. Drivers just finishing up their practice. They have, where are we on screen there? Just 30 seconds left, and then we'll get straight into qualifying. We see the regulars: Lachlan Phillips, Blaine Densley, Braden Miller, very quick, definitely going to be one to watch. Brett Hobbs in the 64 car, again, always a very fierce competitor, as is Nathan Allen. Tony Walsh had a pretty good showing last week. We'll definitely keep an eye on him as well throughout the broadcast. Andrew Cowan, currently in the pit lane as well. And a new driver to the grid there, Blake Walsh, tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Lanier Speedway, probably one of the beginner tracks in the iRacing servers, one of the free ones included with the iRacing base membership. So one that these drivers certainly probably have the most experience on. As we jump into the qualifying session now, 5 minutes for drivers to set the best lap time, or 5 minutes or 3 laps rather, for drivers to set their best possible lap time. Just wait for the drivers to start heading out onto the track. Pick one up. Let's see, Allen and Wright there, first two on the track. So we jump on Nathan Allen's cam there as we watch him make his way out of the pit lane. A bit of a bump there. No, he might have finished the lap. Not. Oh, yep, he's finished his lap. So Nathan Allen, his first lap in 11.8. Blaine Densley takes the early pole after the first lap with an 11.87. I think the 11.8's probably about where we'll be looking for most of these guys tonight. I've been having a chat to Steph over in race control. He's sort of suggested that the fuel load tonight is for the main at least rather, is approximately allowed for around about 15 laps under the safety car. Something that the drivers have been notified of, so potentially fuel saving if we do find ourselves having a safety car heavy race. Ideally not what we're wanting. Last week was a bit of a safety car led race. So as qualifying continues, Braden Miller finds his way up onto pole with an 11.78. Blaine Densley sitting with an 11.87, and Sean Stevens rounds out the top three with an 11.95. Just a couple of drivers left to qualify. Nick Ryan there on screen in the 98 car, currently sitting in 5th place as he comes out the exit of turn 4. Crosses the line, no improvement for him. Stays in 5th place. So it's looking like most of the drivers have finished their qualifying. No one on track currently. So we'll just wait to see. Lachlan Phillips rejoins the track, so obviously still a couple of laps in hand. Two minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Lachlan Phillips currently the only driver on track, and he's pulled out and stopped on track, so he's not doing another lap. Just looking there in the drivers chat, a lot of them forgetting that they're capped at 3 laps. Keep sitting their best lap on lap 4, and of course that won't count. So Warren and Brown Tools there, as we see up on stream, our round sponsor for this round. Massive shout out to those guys. Of course, we also have Toyo Sim Promo Department, Racecraft, and all those other usual sponsors that keep SRW running week in, week out. So just a bit of nothing happening at the moment. Drivers finishing their laps. We're just waiting for the session to advance. Drivers will break up into heats, 8-lap heats. The top 5 will progress through to the feature or the seeded ranks in the feature. The remainder will fall into the back of the main. 16 drivers in the server for tonight. Just under half a second spread across the lap, which is pretty good really for this track. 3/8 of a mile isn't the longest track that we race on. Certainly a little bit wider and a bit more forgiving to go 2 or 3 wider than what we saw last week. We're expecting the track to start out down the bottom, and as the heats progress into the main, we'll see the drivers start to work that higher line. Not a very high banked track here at Lanier. Sort of, I don't actually know off the top of my head, but I think it's only about sort of 12 degrees. It's not very steep at all. Certainly sort of steeps up a little bit more towards the fence. And probably towards the end of the main, we'll either see guys running that pole line or getting their right rear right up on the wall. Certainly makes for exciting racing here at Lanier. So the pace truck makes its way onto the track. Drivers gridding up. In first place in this first heat, we'll see Braden Miller. On the outside, Sean Stevens in second, Nick Ryan third, Jason Burke fourth, Pete Jones in fifth, Blake Walsh in sixth, Ash Halliday seventh, and Andrew Cowan will round out the first heat in 8th position. So as I mentioned, we'll have 2 heats of 8 cars. The top 5 will progress through into the seeded positions. The remaining 6 will fall in behind. So drivers begin their pace laps. They'll have 2 to green. And then the 8-lap heat will commence. I'll just pop my timing up so I can see what's happening. Alright, so we see Braden Miller there, the number 2 car on the inside line. Certainly an interesting track, this one, for restarts. The pace truck pulls in right at the start of the home straight on the inside, so you need to wait a little bit, as we see the cars doing, for the pace truck to get into the pit lane. We're waiting for the lights to go green, and they drop now. Pretty good jump on the outside there from Sean Stevens, the 26th car. Braden Miller managing to hold on down the inside line, slides up the track in front of Stevens. Although Stevens straight back on the inside, looking to make a move on Miller early. Finds himself sliding in behind. Certainly aggressive intent here from Stevens. Really hugging that left rear of Miller as much as possible. You see him tap the wall there on the entry into 1, sorry. Right up onto the wall, down the back straight. Certainly these 2 leading off the field, pulling a gap away. This car there is third. Ryan taps the wall down the home straight as well. Lets the 74 car of Burke right up on inside him. Giving him a good opportunity to make positions. Remember, the top 5 move through. See a car there in the background trying to work the high line, trying to find the best car, really working the bottom line, throwing it in hard, trying to get the track position on Ryan in front of him. Bit of a move there in the back as Walsh gets up into 6th place over Jones. Oh, that looks to be a little bit loose in the corner entry. 99 car of Ash Halliday trying to work the inside line there. Most drivers slowly migrating up to the top there as we ride on board with Jason Burke in 4th place, trying to get their move done on Ryan on the inside line. Certainly where I think most of the passing is going to be, trying to commit to the inside line. We see them get really close there through the corner, and that will bring up the checkered flag. So it's Miller from Stevens, Ryan in third, Burke comes home fourth, Halliday in fifth. And I've just lost Chippy's screen. There we go, back again. So drivers line up for the second heat. We'll see Hobbs. Yeah, Densley on the pole for Send It Sim Sports in the 27 car, Brent Hobbs in the 64. On the outside line, Lachlan Phillips in the 17, Jason Crawford in fourth, Nathan Ryan in fifth, Justin Wright sixth, Tony Walsh seventh, and Michael Locke rounds out the second 8 drivers. Lachlan Phillips we saw last week running some pretty unique lines in that 17 blue and black Excelta car. Very nice looking livery on the 12 car of Jason Crawford as well. So Blaine Densley holds up the field as the pace truck finds its way in. The lights come up, we're waiting for green. Will he jump early? No, he's holding the field right up to the start finish line. Very late start. Brett Hobbs tries to catch the jump, but it looks like he's made himself vulnerable to the cars behind. No, he's managed to get a great run around the outside. Brett Hobbs takes the lead out of turns 3 and 4. Already we see in the background that 17 car of Lachlan Phillips trying to run the unorthodox line, makes himself vulnerable to the 12 car of Jason Crawford, who's getting him around the outside. Lachlan certainly trying to fight that position back. The 27 car there just checks up in front of the 12, but doesn't cause too many issues. We see the middle line there out of 3 and 4 starting to slick up a little bit. The 12 car now moves down to the inside. Blaine Densley in the 27 just trying to close that gap up on Brett Hobbs. And Braden Miller. I don't think Braden Miller's actually started this race. He's showing up as P1 on the timing screen, but not on the race. That's interesting. Nah, he's not coming up, so that's interesting. Something's going on there. So Hobbs continues to lead this race. Lachlan Phillips trying to get that bottom line to work for him. Just not quite able to get up inside the 12 car. Trying to go up to the high side now, run that line, see if he can get down the inside, up the straight, white flag out. Looks like Brett Hobbs is going to run away with this one. Densley coming home in second. But the battle is between Lachlan Phillips and Jason Crawford. Sticks the nose up the inside, but too little too late. So in the second heat, it's Hobbs, followed by Densley, Crawford, then Phillips, followed by Allen and Walsh. Not quite sure what happened there with Braden Miller. No. So it's just come up. Braden Miller has dropped due to upload packet loss. So there's a network issue there for Braden Miller. Let's put him out of tonight's racing. So 3-minute warm-up on track now. Guys have the opportunity to spin some laps. So a few guys opting to take this opportunity to get a feel for the track ahead of the feature race. Most guys starting to make their way out now with just a few seconds remaining to see how turn 1's going to behave when they throw it in for the start. Great onboard view there from the front of Justin Wright's car. We see that high line on the track already developing. That's where they're going to want to be sticking their right rear tyre. That's where all the grip is going to be. That line there from pale brown to the darker brown, just running off the marbles, that's where most of the grip is found. You'll notice down the bottom, starting to get very slick, almost black as the rubber hits the track. You want to try and avoid that area as much as possible. There's no traction there. Great onboard camera there. On Justin's right car, we see just how close he's getting to the wall on the exit of the corners there. In fact, he's hit the wall on that occasion. So, less than a minute left in the warm-up. On board there with Blaine Densley. And a great shot there to see just how much fine adjustment goes into the steering wheel on these cars. Constantly moving, you see the steering arm there, constantly rocking back and forth as the cars are fighting for line. More often than not driving with the accelerator more so than the steering wheel. And a good little insight there from the onboard just to see how much vision is obstructed by that giant wing on top of the car. A couple of cars in front of them, but of course from this camera position, very difficult to tell. Just make them out. So, only a few seconds left there. Cars are going to start to play a little bit of dodgems as the checkered flag comes out. And we will line them up for the feature race. Couple of big crashes there after the checkered flag drops. Yeah, only 2 heats this week. We had 24 drivers last week, 25 drivers last week. We ended up with 3 heats. Only 16 cars in the server this week, just the 2 heats. And straight into the final. Makes for a very brief, short, sharp night. 30-lap feature here. This time I can confirm that the safety car laps won't count, so we will get a full-length race. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, the fuel load for this race has been roughly calculated to allow for 15 laps under pace car. So should we do have an incident and the pace truck is determined, we'll have 15 laps where drivers will quite comfortably be able to push their way home. Any more than that and the fuel save game will start to come in. Fuel saving in a sprint car, pretty easy really, just backing off as you would on a road track. But the issue, of course, with backing off is you suddenly gain a whole lot more traction through the corners. And obviously, as we know, the fastest way to get around a dirt corner is to slide with your foot down. So it's that balance between how much throttle you let off and how much you want to continue running, especially when the guy behind is using 100% of the power. So starting the feature, it will be Hobbs from Stevens, followed by Densley, Ryan and hang on, no, that's all shuffling around. Densley, Burke, Crawford, Phillips, Halliday, Allen, Walsh rounds out the top 10 and the lights go green and it's Stevens on the inside, big dive from the 98 car there to the pole line. I think he almost got away with that. He's certainly hanging around there as we go 3 wide out of turn 4 wide even in fact. Looks like a little bit of contact on the wall there as we ride on, focusing with Jason Burke in the 74 car down the inside. Pete Jones there, the number 13 car. Again, working the highliners, there's a massive crash in the background. Someone's picked up the wall and rolled a few times on the catch fence, doing its job nicely. That was the 27 car there. Who was the 27 car? That's Blaine Densley. So one of the front runners has found himself in the wall. He'll move to the back. So we pull up a replay here, focusing on the Nick Ryan car. He's just come up the track a little. No. Could have just been because he's pulled over. We'll see if we can find. There's a 27 car that went up the fence. We're just trying to find a DSL Welding Services replay here for you. As you see, pretty extensive damage there to Blaine Densley's car. So here is your DSL Welding Services replay. Yeah, had a bit of a push there, up into the fence. Can't quite make out who that was, but we see the result there. He's climbed up the wall, and he's certainly rolled a few times. As we go green again now on the live stream. Great start once again from Brett Hobbs. Jason Crawford in the 12 car trying to run that wide line, and it will be an EOL penalty to the 99 car. That's end of line for those of you who don't know. The 99 car causing that incident there with the 27. So Brett Hobbs currently sitting in second. The 98 car of Nick Ryan behind him. Nick Ryan already up on the wall, trying to run that high line. If we look at the 12 car behind him of Jason Crawford, just running a little bit further down the racetrack, trying to find some grip in the slick. Excuse me, Nick Ryan switches to the low side. Jason Crawford still running high, trying to make that work. Certainly appears to be some speed up there. The 63 car of Blake Walsh, massive slide job on Jason Crawford, pulls it off. Crawford comes back at him down the straight, but unable to make the move. Great pass there from the 63 car. So Jason Crawford puts a slide job of his own back on to Blake Walsh, and these guys are exchanging slide jobs here corner to corner. Great little battle between the 63 and 12 car right now. Meanwhile, Sean Stevens up the front has pulled away almost a second of a lead over Brett Hobbs, running in second. Nick Ryan right behind him as well. And then we join on to this battle pack here of Blake Walsh and Jason Crawford. Looks like Blake Walsh has just gained some advantage there, opening up that gap just a little bit. So Blaine Densley has found himself in the pit lane. Obviously excessive damage there. Doubtful we will see him back on the tracks. We see the 17 car now of Lachlan Phillips again. Tries to put the slide job onto Jason Crawford. Does it again. This time, is he able to make it stick? No, just getting a little bit too much of a run on that high line is Phillips. Oh, sorry, is Crawford, sorry. Further down in the pack, Nathan Allen and the 78 car of Justin Wright also having a good battle. Certainly this track seems to be very favourable for racing. We're seeing some good slide job passing going on. Certainly seems to be pace up high. And there's a little bit of a groove down the bottom for those guys sliding up the track. It seems as though some of the midfield now are starting to try and work that bottom, just testing the waters, seeing if they can find some pace. Plenty of action going on around the track here. We jump on with Pete Jones and Ash Halliday, currently battling for 9th and 10th position. Ash Halliday we see up on the fence, a bit of contact there. Nathan Allen and Pete Jones. Pete Jones gets away reasonably unscathed. Nathan Allen does lose a position there to Halliday, trying to run that high line. Jones struggling a little bit in the middle. You see his car just getting a little bit unsettled there in the slick. Needs to either move up or down, I think, and find a bit of rhythm. Ash Halliday is certainly making that high line work for him. You see, got incredible drive coming out of 2. Making good gains on Pete Jones. He drives around the outside of him here. Pete Jones is going to have to move up the track to defend a little bit. Gets a bit loose in the middle of the corner. Car over rotates. He's lost a lot of time there as Ash Halliday, it looked like, absolutely slammed the pit exit. That's the trailer entrance to the track. Just got a little bit too high. And drove straight into the trailer entrance to the track there. So we jump on board the DSL Welding Services replay. We join Ash Halliday. We see him running that high line. Has he checked the car up a little bit? No, he's just failed to turn, it seems. Run a little bit too late. Left his turn in a little bit too late, sorry. And had a very nasty head-on with the trailer entrance there to the track. Looks like he picked up the 98 car, was it, on the way through as well. Not too bad, but Certainly a very big hit. We see the car bounce back, rotate, upside down the track. Who was that just clipped him on the way through? Didn't look to have caused too much damage. Maybe just a bit of a bent wing there. Yeah, not quite sure. Yeah, it looks like the 78 car, perhaps. No, not the 78 car. Who's 63 car, sorry? Blake Walsh? One of the green and black cars. There's a couple of green and black cars. 63, 64, 26. Those guys up the front. Or was it the 78 cars? Black and green as well. Michael Locke, number 10 car. Yeah, see it there, he's missing his wing. So as we go green again, Michael Locke, this time racing without a wing. It's been knocked off. Stevens leads the pack through, running the low line. The 97 car there. Sorry, not the 97 car. The 63 car, Blake Walsh, found himself up in second there, off the restart. Brett Hobbs in 64, is currently running in third, working the inside line. Drivers calling for a caution. That was very close there. Great avoidance by Brett Hobbs. So that's the 13 car of Pete Jones. He's come into contact with somebody else. 83 car, it seems. Nathan Jones, perhaps, was the call we got. Yeah, definitely the 83 car. So what's happened here? Both of them running in the slick, down the middle. So Pete there has stepped out off the slick, lost his control a little bit. Misses the 74, but comes back down on the 83. They've tangled up. They've tried to keep it going, but as the 83's turned out to try and get around the corner, he's actually picked up the 13 car and they've locked in. One of those little incidences where had he actually turned left towards the wall, he'd have unclipped himself and probably carried on. So perhaps down to a little bit of an experience, not used to running a rubbing racing there. You certainly, think as a dirt racer, you turn it right and try to get around the corner, but when you're rubbing like that, you've just got to not get hooked up as your number one priority. A bump on the fence is probably a little bit better than the result that he's got there, being hooked up and finding himself in the back of the field. So the caution has been thrown, and they're just pacing currently. Oh no, it's just a caution being shortened by 1 lap, never mind. So 1 to green now, and it looks to be a single file restart this time. So Stevens holds up on the fence, starting to slow the field down now, just giving the safety car, or the pace truck, sorry, a bit of a chance to clear the start-finish line, as we see a very early jump there from the entry of turn 4, and it's a great start from Stevens. He's already put a good gap of 8 tenths onto Blake Walsh, running in second place, the 63 car. We mentioned at the top of the broadcast, a newcomer to the league tonight, we believe. We're doing a very good job indeed. Brett Hobbs trying to work that low line as well. We see him there running just under the slick. The 98 car up high though, trying to get the move done up into third place. Looks to have a bit of pace up there on the wall. Does Nick Ryan. Brett Hobbs now moving up to defend a little bit. Finds himself in the midfield. Really trying hard to hold off Nick Ryan, running that high line to perfection. He's got him this time. No, not quite. Brett Hobbs still manages to slide on up and defend third position. Great battle here, bit of contact. Brett Hobbs slides up on him again to run down the straight. Just rubs the left front tyre there of Nick Ryan. This time he's managed to find the wall, and the 17 of Lachlan Phillips capitalises on that opportunity. Already slides up, trying to make that move work just off the high line, but there's no pace out there. Nick Ryan running the wall literally to sparks at some stages. Certainly finding pace on that high line, but struggling a little bit for consistency, it seems, at the moment. Lachlan Phillips making the move on him. Lachlan Phillips now running that high line, threatening against Brett Hobbs, but that is the checkered flag, so a great drive away from Sean Stevens off the restart. Really textbook restart from him. See Sean Stevens come home with the race win. A great drive from Blake Walsh there, capitalising again off the first restart to find his way up into second. A good drive, up 9 positions, Blake Walsh, in fact. So a great drive from him. Sean Stevens up 2 as well. Brett Hobbs finds himself back 1 from his starting position. Still a very solid result. Lachlan Phillips climbs 4 positions to finish in 4th. Justin Wright finishing in 6th position, up 10. Nick Ryan, we saw there, really trying to get that high line to work for him, managing to bring it home in 5th. So plenty of action in that feature race tonight. Some really great passing, some really good slide job battles going on. Just waiting now for the drivers to move into the green room. We'll bring them in for some post-race commentary. But to go through your results, once again, Sean Stevens first, Blake Walsh third, Blake Walsh second, Brett Hobbs third, Lachlan Phillips fourth, Nick Ryan fifth, Justin Wright sixth, Jason Burke seventh, Tony Walsh eighth, Andrew Cowan ninth, Michael Locke 10th, followed by Nathan Allen, Pete Jones, Ash Halliday, Jason Crawford, and Blaine Densley, victim of that early incident. So we're just waiting for the drivers to hit the green room. Just wait for Shippy to bring one down for me.
Hey.
Hey, Hobbsy, how are we?
Yeah, good yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Running there in 3rd in the end. How did you find the race tonight, mate?
Yeah, it was good fun. I had a good battle with Sean for the first 20 laps before that caution come out. Good green flag run, so it was good to get some green laps in.
Yeah, certainly a big improvement from last week. And how did you find the track? It looked like there were plenty of great passing opportunities going on there.
Yeah, it's track played well. You could probably run the bottom. If you're good enough, you could probably grab the top, I suppose. But yeah, track was good. Good track. Always puts on good racing. So.
Yeah, certainly, mate. Certainly entertaining to watch. Any sponsors? Anyone you got a shout out to tonight, mate?
Yeah, I'll just give Hobbs, Trenchant and Boren a shout out. Blano from 27, North Central Solutions, Clayton from CD, and 81 Racewear.
Yeah, sweet. Cheers. Thanks, mate. Great result on the podium.
Mate.
And we'll hope to see you again next week.
Thanks for having me, mate. See you.
Cheers, no problem. Alrighty, so we'll pull in 2nd place now, Blake.
That's quick.
Yeah. Oh, right. We'll try that now. Are we there, Blake?
Yeah, I'm here. Yep.
Right, never mind. Bit of a technical difficulty on our end. So 2nd place, mate. Big drive from you up 9 positions. How did you find that one?
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. Setup felt alright, so pretty comfortable drive. So yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, definitely. Am I right in thinking this was your first race in the SRW, or is that somebody else?
Yeah. No, this was my first race. I only got accepted in the league as it went up. So.
Yeah, no, I heard the name Walsh in the admin chat before we went live, and I saw you coming up there, and I thought that might have been you. So certainly good to see another fierce competitor in the league, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of you up the top. Do you have any sponsors, family, friends you need to shout out to tonight, mate?
I'd like to thank Brad and the boys over from Hooked Up Speed Labs. Just everything they do, setup-wise. Not as much for this league, but everything else. Heaton from HRT Photography, Alan H. Yeah, and just everyone else that makes it possible.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. And how did you find the track tonight? It certainly looked like you were making some moves.
No, it was good towards the end. I sort of lean up right against the wall. It was good, but I wish it was a bit slicker there to start with, so I could move around a bit more and knock off some cars a bit quicker than I did.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like there were a couple of lines forming, and they were only starting to really move around those last few laps. By which point it was probably just a little bit too late. Yeah.
Yeah, that last yellow would have been alright, but I got a bit loose off the restart.
Yeah, no, definitely, mate. Oh, well, congratulations on your second either way, and welcome to the league, and we'll no doubt see you again next week.
Will do. Thank you.
He'll catch you later, mate. Alrighty, and we'll bring in our race winner, Sean Stevens now. Sean, first place. How did you find that one, mate?
Yeah, no, it felt nice tonight, actually, for a change. It was a bit unlucky there for Miller not to grid up, and I ended up with his position off the front row. But I knew off them restarts, if I got a good start and caught him off guard, I could probably hold him off a little bit, and the track felt good. I think we should have wore it in a bit more, actually.
Yeah, common sort of suggestion across the podium, really. The track was just starting to come right as that last safety car was thrown, and then it was probably just a little bit too short to really make some good moves.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, it was a good night overall.
Yeah, a couple of lines seemed to be forming. Where did you find yourself most comfortable?
I knew I had to build up momentum off the restarts, and I'd try and hit the high line 1 and 2, and then try and dive down low 3 and 4, and just get that momentum push into 3 and 4, and try and build a bit of a gap. But it was good. Pretty much down low, I think, was coming in towards the end there, but I tried to keep that. I seen Blake behind me, so he was rolling the top, so I just stayed up there. So if he went down low, I'd go down low and just keep that gap. But yeah,
definitely, mate. There seemed to be opportunities a bit around everywhere around the track, really. Let's talk about that restart at the end there. That certainly got you a jump. I think you pulled off to about 8.5 tenths there off that last restart. Certainly gave you a good advantage on the final laps.
Yeah, I think I went a bit too early on that one, but anyway, I caught him off guard and built a bit of a gap, and yeah, it was a good run.
Yeah, definitely caught them off guard and drove it home. Hey, look, mate, any sponsors, any family, friends you need to shout out to?
Just all the sponsors on the car: YB Racing, PPS, Pertec, JS Simshots, LCJ Carpentry, Catalysm Computers, and you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Yeah, sweet, mate. Not an issue, and no doubt we'll see you again next week.
Cheers, mate.
Alrighty, catch you later. And that concludes round 3 of the DSL Welding Services 360 Sprint Cars from Lanier Speedway. Once again, your podium: Braden Miller, Blair Densley. No, that's not right. Blaine Densley. That's not the podium. That's qualifying results. Chippy's using some different hotkeys tonight, so cut in some slack, guys. There we are. Feature results: Sean Stevens in first, Blake Walsh in second, and Brett Hobbs rounding out the podium in third. As always, it's been a pleasure to bring you the coverage. Tomorrow night we have Porsche Wednesday, TCRs on Wednesday night. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, TCRs tomorrow night. Radicals and Porsches Thursday night, GT3s on Friday night, so be sure to tune in each night to get your fix of SRW on the broadcast. For now, my name is Brendan. It's been a pleasure to bring you the Sprint Cars this evening, and we'll see you again later in the week.